Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a great day. Now today we have a couple of different things going on in today's video, all of them including beep. Now the first things first is that we are going to be draining all of the water out of the cooling system of beep because I have mostly water in here right now because it was leaking coolant at one point and I just didn't want to keep buying coolant, but I fixed the leak and I never changed it. I swapped it out for coolant. And we're going to be putting coolant in it because it's starting to get colder out and I don't want it to all freeze inside of the engine and blow any freeze plugs or just break anything in general. We also have some stuff going on in the back here. As you can tell, I no longer have a rear bumper. So the story with that is I was jacking the car up because I was looking at the rear brakes because the whole issue with my rear brakes still isn't fixed. I don't have rear brakes. That is going to be fixed pretty soon. But I had it all jacked up. I was looking at it and it actually fell off of the jack because I don't have jack stands. And I didn't have the extension pull on it because I was using that to torque the lug nuts off. And it got stuck underneath the bumper and it was all the way on the ground. I'll try and put in a video if I can from my phone of like what kind of happened, what it looked like. But the only way to fix that was to take the rear bumper off, and I didn't feel like putting it back on because I want to get a new one soon anyway. But I found a lot of rust under here, so I'm going to be washing all of this, taking the mounts off, sanding it all down, priming it. And also, my gas tank shield is falling off, so we were just going to unbolt that and throw it away because I don't really have any use for it right now. The gas tank is eventually going to be relocated in the trunk area anyway, so it doesn't matter much to me. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Alright, so first things first, we're going to be draining the entire system of the water. And the way to get to that is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there is a little plug right there that you need to take out. I might need to take the front face off of this to get to that, but that's okay because it's super easy. I've done it 100 times. So I'm going to take all that off and then show you how you get to that little plug right there. Alright, so I got the entire thing unbolted. It's like hung up a little bit so that you can see it a lot better. And then in there, of course, it's still dark, but you can see that little plug right here. There's supposed to be like a little flange on it that you turn it by, but mine broke off, so I'm gonna have to try and get like pliers and just twist it off this way on the sides. And then we're gonna let it all drain out, try to get all these wires out of the way as well, so I don't get water all over them. And then see where we go from there. I need to go get something to drain it into so I don't just drain it all in my driveway, even though it is water. There probably is still a lot of rust mixed in with that because I have rust spots over there from that exact thing where I just got rusty water all over the ground. And rusty water is really hard to get off the asphalt. If you didn't know that, it's very hard to get off. So let me get something to drain this into and go from there. Alright, so I got something to drain it into, but this is on like a really weird incline, so I'm gonna try and get it on like a somewhat of a flatter surface, probably over there. My driveway is all sorts of messed up, and the flattest part is probably gonna be over there, so I need to try and somehow move it with it all taken apart like this. So you guys get to watch that. Alright, so I got it moved over here. It's a lot flatter of a surface. It's still at an angle, but it's not like a straight, like, curved angle down. So we could sit the little oil pan thing flat right under here so it can catch all of the rusty water. I need to see if I can try and get this camera set up in a way that you guys can see how I unscrew this. Alright, so I'm letting all of this drain out right now. It took forever to try and get this plug off because, as you can see, this is what the plug's supposed to look like. There's supposed to be like a little fin right here that you're supposed to turn to unscrew it, but mine doesn't have that, so I had to like gnaw away at it. You can kind of see in there, but you see the stuff coming out. It's really nasty. I tried moving my wiring harness like out of the way, and we are just going to let this completely drain out. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to tell you is if you open this, yeah, it's gonna start spraying out a lot faster. Because that lets all the pressure into the system. It kind of releases pressure so that it can drip out a lot faster. Just like I said, I still got it all over the driveway. It's mostly water though, it's not as rusty as it once was, which I'm pretty happy about. But you can see it's kind of like dirty coolant water. It's like a dirty green, which is nasty. So I'm gonna let all the rest of that drip out. But we are gonna have to bleed it now as well. Okay, so it is completely finished draining. I got the plug back in. You can probably see. Let it focus. So the plug is back in. I got all the coolant. Now this we're just gonna move to the side for right now, because that, since it does technically have coolant in it, I can't dump it in the woods. We are going to be dumping it back into the empty coolant container once we put all the coolant into the car. Let's just grab this out of here. And I actually have a funnel kit that you just put right up to the thermostat, up to the radiator. And let me go get that. Alright guys, so I got the plug back in. It's all tightened up. I got the dirty coolant water over here. We're going to be dumping that back into the empty coolant jug after we're done, because since it does technically have coolant in it, I can't dump it anywhere. If it was just water, I'd just dump it, but it's not. I have my little coolant funnel thing hooked up here, along with the adapter piece. I bought a whole kit from, I think I bought this off Amazon, but it is the AutoZone tool company, like the OEM Tools is AutoZone's tool company, I believe. It's a no spill coolant filling funnel kit. Comes with a bunch of different parts, really cool. But we're gonna start adding coolant to this and start bleeding it. Let's see if I could do this with just one hand. Probably better off with the right hand. It's leaking out the side. You can see it's starting to bleed itself. We can also put a bunch in the expansion tank, which is over here, which I don't have a funnel for. I'm just gonna have to. Oh, I'm goated. Actually goated. So I could just fill that up as well. There should be a line on the side. Yeah, still needs more. Oh shit, I'm not goated. Not goated. Okie dokie. Alright, so now I'm gonna go and start it. You can see I got so much on the ground. It's fine. It's fine. So get started. And you are going to want to blast the heat because you want the water pump to open up on not only this side, which goes to the radiator, but also this side, which goes back to the heater core. You want it to go through the entire system, so that's why we blast the heat on it. Alright, so while this is idling and warming up and circulating the coolant and kind of like burping the system a little bit, I'm going to throw the entire front end face back together. You've seen me do it a whole bunch already, so I'm not going to record this part. Just going to throw it back together, throw these guys back on, tell you how it's doing with the whole bleeding the coolant system. And then we're going to try and fix moi back here. This I'm definitely going to just be ripping off. I think it's only being held in by one bolt at the moment. And then I need to wash back here, start sanding it so that I can prime it. And I think I eventually am going to be getting the JCR off-road rear bumper. And yeah, that's going to be a different video though. So I'm not going to get into all that. But I'm going to throw this back on, throw you guys back on, tell you how it's going. Alright guys, so I just finished buttoning the front end back up. And it might look a little bit different to you guys, and that is because I didn't put the running light slash indicators back in because I'm not going to be using those anymore. I always put those back in as just kind of like a placeholder, and they're old, they're broken, and I think they're ugly. We're not going to be using those anymore. I want to get the little like 6-inch light bars to put in there, and I feel like if I just leave that empty, it'll give me more of like ambition to do that. Like every time I see that empty, I'm going to want to put the LED light bars in there, and it's going to make me end up doing it. So that's why I left those out. But everything's back together. I fully bled the cooling system. It's all good. It's all coolant now. No more water, so I don't have to worry about it freezing overnight or during the day, because it's starting to get colder in the day too. Next up on the agenda, getting this off. I'm pretty sure the only thing holding it on is the one bolt up there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I'm going to jack the car up, and then we're going to try and get that off. Alright you guys, I have it jacked up back here. I have the block in the front. I also put it in 4-wheel drive, so it should not be rolling down because this is a downhill. So I was just worried that it was going to roll down the hill. But as you can see, there is just one bolt holding it in. So I'm going to get my impact gun, my set of impact sockets. We're going to ugga-dugga that bitch off. Probably go to the car wash, wash all this off, and then we're going to get to sanding this and priming it. And then it should be good to get a new bumper thrown back on it. Alright, so I should be able to just ugga-dugga this bitch off. It's gonna be another case of a stuck socket on my vehicle. Fuck. Need to go get the hammer. It's hammer time. Oh. There we go. We're going to have to. What is this battery at? Oh, this battery's only at 1 light. That's fantastic. I really have to. I'll go get the breaker bar. This thing's coming off. Whether it wants to or not. This is an 18. Oh no. Pretty sure. Okay. Get in the breaker bar. So this doesn't want to come off with the impact. Get the old pipe. See if that does the trick. I don't like this one. Don't like this breaker bar because it's not really a breaker bar. It's ratcheting, so if you pull on it hard enough, it skips a tooth. And that happens. Yeah. Jesus Christ. It took forever, bro. Now this thing's fucking stuck. Off. Get off. Oh boy. That is covered in mud. So I'm guessing what happened with this is I had a bunch of other bolt holes, and I guess all those fell out. But yeah, that was the last one in there. That shit was in there good. Got this fucking thing out. It's going right in the garbage. Alright guys, so we can finally just let this down. See if I can twist it one hand. I can't. It's hard as fuck. Hold up. Now I can twist it with my hand. There you go. Love to hear that noise. There we go. No longer have that thing hanging down there. But I do need to fix these fenders, or these rear quarter panels, rear fenders, whatever you want to call it. I need to do the cut and fold mod. And I don't think I'm going to be going to the car wash to wash this. I think I'm just going to wash it right here with the hose. And I have some degreaser, and then we can start sanding that. And then I need to go to the store because I need to get primer, and then we're going to be priming that. So I just got back from Home Depot. I picked up some sandpaper along with some primer. I already started sanding to like kind of see if it would take it off. I didn't know what grit to get. Low-key know nothing about sandpaper, but I got 150 grit, which is fine, I guess. Because I didn't want to make like any too big of like gashes in it, because I didn't want it to be too coarse where it's gonna like just completely rip up all the paint. I just wanted to sand off like most of the surface rust, and then we're gonna put this down, which is just automotive primer. I don't know why my brain just lagged. So I'm gonna take these rear bumper mounts off, and then we're gonna see what's under there, and we're gonna start sanding all of this, and then hopefully priming it today. Alright, so I sanded to the best of my ability. You can't really see it on camera, it's just scuff marks. I can't really get in there. I'm probably eventually gonna get this entire thing repainted. And that right there will need to be sandblasted. Over here is a lot worse. I tested out some of the primer right there off camera, but over here is a lot worse. Like all of this here is supposed to be like metal like the other side, but it all rusted off. It's all on the ground now. But I kind of tried to chisel away all like I missed this side. I tried to like, I'll show you, chisel away all like the lifted paint and get all of that off. Because ideally you would want to sandblast these. I also tried taking these mounts off, and these mounts said no, we are not coming off today. So I'm going to need some 12-point socket bits for the impact to get those off, because it just kept rounding them. So those are really rusty and they don't want to come off. So they're going to get primed with the rest of it. This is just for now. Pretty soon I will be getting a JCR bumper. It's going to cover all of this. But at the same time, I don't want all this rusting underneath and just rotting away, because I already have enough rust as it is that needs to be fixed. So we're going to be painting the rest of this, and hopefully it comes out looking a little bit better than all just the dirt and rust that is there right now. Alright guys, so I think that's going to be it for today's video. We got a couple of different things done. We flushed all the water out of the system, put coolant in it. I got the rear gas tank shield off, and we primed this, sanded it down, got some of the rust off. Now, as you can still see in here, there is still like rust flaking. This is a very minor fix, like this isn't anything permanent at all. Once I get the bumper, I'm probably going to get a nice like 12-point socket set so I can get these mounts off, and I'm gonna see what I can do about getting this sandblasted. I do have a cheap Harbor Freight sandblaster, and I still have the sand from when I bought it, from when I was trying to sandblast the Passat. So I technically could use that. I just would need to get a bigger air compressor. I just recently bought this one right here. There's a bunch of crap in here right now. This is a 4.5 gallon air compressor, but it's super quiet. That's the reason I bought it. I think I would need a bigger one to power the sandblaster, to sandblast something like this, because this is just rotting all the way, and that's something I don't want. Like I said, I'm eventually going to be shipping this to some sort of place to get like completely stripped down to just the chassis, to get repainted, because I have a really cool paint color that I want to paint this, and it needs paint obviously since it's a 98. Pretty soon we're going to be getting a new fender on here along with a new rocker panel. We're going to be cutting the quarter panels and doing the cut and fold mod, and it's just going to be a lot of mismatched stuff, a lot of original paint, primer, and then just the black prime parts from when I get new body parts. So it's going to be a whole mess. So it is eventually going to need to be painted, and hopefully that'll be happening very soon. I will need to get another car first because this is my daily, this is the grocery getter. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace.